Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
Shut up all those haters, right? Right, Evan?
Yeah.
Shut them all up.
Shut up.
Take that soft schedule and shove it.
Yeah.
That's right. Next stop, AFC Championship, if you ask me.
Oh, boy.
I mean, I'll do my Thursday pick right now.
I haven't even worked myself up where I'm
go.
terrified of the Texans yet.
Well, I was talking to Bill Belichick. No, you weren't. You were in a press conference. You listened just like everybody else.
This is one of those things where PFF had him here. And, no, you can watch the game.
I watched the game, Fred.
They also fired their offensive line coach.
The Chargers also fired their O-line coach, Mike Devlin. Did we say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's right. You were reading an email.
I wasn't listening.
Robert Spillane explained how the Chargers were going up to him after the game saying that we didn't know what you
It's
guys...
a really good question, whoever asked that.
Oh, good job, Bev.
All the Tom Brady theories, etc., are completely false. The truth is, it's just a stolen bit.
Yes and no.
Can I get a definition of hardo?
Paul, drink real sugar Pepsi. The artificial sweetener is way worse for you.
That's a myth. Much like the rest of your email.
It's hard to like get really jazzed up for a 16-3 game.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. I disagree. Those defensive stops get you going.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Wednesday here at Gillette Stadium. We're getting ready for the Texans coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that who we're playing?
Yeah.
I lost
Right,
track.
right.
I,
Here.
all of a sudden, I had like one of those. Is that right? Yeah, the Texans. That's the team with the defense.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're playing Houston,
Yeah.
NRG Stadium.
Caserio.
Yeah. They've got a good defense, the Texans.
John Carroll University.
So
There you
we're
go.
going to figure out how we beat them. Evan, I just read your
I figured it
preview,
out. Yeah, I
which
got to the bottom
I learned
of
a
it.
lot.
Thank you.
I won't spoil it for people. When are you going to post that?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. Okay. So a lot of good EPA talk there and all that stuff.
Got to see if one Christian Gonzalez is
Yeah.
where we're at
So
with that.
so it's Evan, it's Paul, it's Deuce, it's me, it's Alex and Matt in the booth. But
Good rhythm. Like that.
Gonzo posted something, I guess, that
Yes.
kind of
It
indicates
sounds like-
that he
What?
thinks he might be back.
Oh, I didn't know. What?
So
what is it?
yeah, he posted.
Not concussed.
He posted on his alt account.
Oh.
So a
What,
lot
he's
of
got an alt
I'm
account?
gonna explain it. Don't worry.
All right.
So there's a lot of
Emo Gonzalez.
you're
Just plays sad songs and
trying
puts
to
on
explain
eyeliner.
it and you keep you done?
That was good, Mike. I like
I'm done.
Yeah, okay.
6'7".
So since these athletes all have like branded accounts now, that it's like that's like their marketing account, that's their brand account. Some of them have alt accounts that are more personal, that are more like their
Heart
accounts
to heart.
Yeah.
Connection to the fans.
Yeah. So he posted on his alt account that he was listening to a song that was titled "I Am Back." So that's where everybody is getting it from. Now he played last week, so I don't know.
Back on the injured list.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really.
And
but
then it was a
yes.
picture of him on the field
With Big
Milton
Miller.
Williams in the foreground.
Okay.
He's in the
All
background.
right. That's encouraging. That's encouraging.
Yes.
Try not to read too much
We
into
had
these things.
a caller call into Catch 22 and brought it up, and I just said, Mike Vrabel will talk in an hour, and practice will be in the 2:00 hour today. So,
Maybe a little
rather than
little
sitting
red
here
jersey,
and
maybe.
speculating, we'll
that
find
first
out.
step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing about Vrabel is if he's asked, he'll tell you.
Yeah.
If he's going to play and he knows, he'll say it. I don't think he knows at this point.
Yeah, I don't think that he could. With the concussion, I think it's a little different. But I expect Gonzalez to play, and I don't expect Nico Collins to play, just based on
History.
their reactions.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but that's not relevant in this case, Mike.
Yeah. Well, the thing, Paul, too, was that I didn't see it, but they said Nico Collins had to sit for a minute, on
I
the
saw it.
bench before. I didn't, but
I thought
And he was carted off. I mean,
the post concussion actions of the two players would tell me neither one of them is going to play.
Yeah.
But the fact that Gonzalez made himself seen in the locker room, I know he didn't officially talk, Ev. Is that the way you put it? He didn't officially talk to you guys?
Yeah.
But he kind of let everybody know, I'm good. That tells me that he's planning on playing. And I know it's technically not up to the player, but let's face it, it is up to the player because there's ways to get around it.
Mhm.
And I would just use Jared Wilson as an example. A couple of weeks ago, he ended a game. I think he spoke. Was it?
Yeah.
When did he? I think he spoke late last week, and he said he felt something. One of the last plays of the game against the Jets, I think it was.
Is the Ravens.
Ravens. Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Then he felt like he was okay during the course of the week, and you wake up the next day and you have headaches. He was reporting. So to me, it's very simple. And I think I applaud Jared Wilson, by the way, for taking care of himself and taking care of his body.
Yeah.
I just think it would have been very easy for him to say, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm not experiencing, like, I have these problems. I'm a little worried about this. So after the game, they check him out. He's in protocol. Okay, yeah, I'm good. If he wants to play the next game, he was worried about how he felt. So he ended up missing 2 games.
Yeah.
As a result of the problem, which, again, I applaud a player for taking care of himself. But the flip side of that is there's a million players that just say, yeah, no, I'm playing. And they just go out and play.
Yeah, that's
And
what
I'm not, that's your choice. And I just think it's easy to get around this stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, that maybe Gonzalez woke up and experienced what Jared Wilson said he experienced, which was had headaches a couple days, and then he woke up one day and he felt good. He felt ready to go. So hopefully that's what happened with Collins, or not Collins, Gonzalez.
Right. Okay, so that's a big thing that we're going to keep our eye on.
Yeah, and we'll keep an eye on Collins too. I mean, just for, you never know. But
I would
I didn't
assume-
think Ryan sounded too optimistic on Monday when he spoke about Collins.
But-
This is also his second concussion of the season. I think he missed a game or maybe 2 earlier this season with the concussion. So normally when it's the second one too, it's even stricter in terms of the independent neuros to get him back on the field.
So even if Gonzalez is going to play, look to him to be not a full participant today, right?
yeah, he's got to get through but that's
Right.
what we said. Red jersey would be the
Right.
first step.
So don't
He'll be
freak out
there.
if you see the participation report and he's,
I mean, if he's out there, it's a great sign. I mean, he probably would be in a red jersey.
The only
but-
thing that would cause me to have concerns is if he's not out there at all.
Right.
I expect him to be out there.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Okay, so that's one thing we're looking at. The other thing is we were talking yesterday. Is it worth the discussion about Ben Brown versus Jared Wilson? Any way, Evan, that from practice you'll know that, or
Maybe not ways that we're technically supposed to share publicly.
right? Okay,
But
yeah.
but we might get sometimes they'll give you little hints, but they really don't like us coming out. And
Do you think someone will ask the direct?
I
direct
hope
question
so.
today?
And we talked about this on the show too earlier in Catch 22, and it's not gonna be me, but somebody like maybe trying to get a little bit more color out of Vrabel as to why they're so committed to Jared Wilson, I think is would be nice. That's not trying to kill Jared Wilson at all. It's just I think the line's been better with Ben Brown at left guard than it has been with Jared Wilson. So it would be nice to kind of understand the thought process there a little bit more as to why. Because I agree with Paul. I thought last week he was really quick to shut it down as even a conversation about making a switch there. So maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else do we want to put on the table?
I just noticed they signed Darrell Taylor to the practice squad this morning, which was reported by Ian Rappaport, who's played some snaps in the league. He was on the Texans. I think he came up with Seattle initially, but he's
How recently was he
4-year
on
guy.
the Texans?
This year.
Oh no, like
This
yeah,
year?
just it wasn't.
So is it an informational signing?
That's the speculation.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, it's but he is a pass rusher guy, so maybe adding some depth behind Chase on and. No, I really didn't. I didn't notice Harold Landry at all.
No, but I just
I don't know if-
find it weird, like the phrasing of the tweet that.
And he very
There's
likely could be elevated for Sunday.
Thank you to Darrell Taylor's agent for that text message to Ian Rappaport. But so they have Chase on, they have Landry, who might not be playing particularly well with that knee, but is playing and is active. They have Ponder, they have Jennings. So now this Taylor guy off the street is gonna come in and play over Jennings or Ponder.
Yeah.
That didn't add
Well,
up to me.
The other thing to look at is if somebody pops up on the injury report today that we don't know about.
Sure, but that's the only thing that I could think of is maybe Landry is going back.
Just can't.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he only played like 40%. I mean, it wasn't much.
Yep.
I don't.
So we'll have Vrabel at 110 again.
110.
He's going. I don't like that. I like it when it was right at 1.
Yeah. You got your meal coming, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat
Got a
first.
grinder.
Yeah. All right.
Make
So
it a grinder.
so that's that. Anything else?
Well, I mean, I
fallout
was-
from yesterday. I mean,
No.
Tomlin stepped down. I don't. Did that happen?
Yeah, right
during the
after.
show?
Yeah, it was right after the show.
Right after the show.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it's weird that he stepped down. I mean, that kind of smelled to me like we don't fire coaches
yeah.
here. So how about
course.
you step down? You know, that
Of
it
course.
seems kind of like an agreement type of situation
Yeah.
where they're moving on. But it's crazy that those two guys have been institutions since the early 2000s in their respective two AFC North
Talking
homes.
about John Harbaugh.
Harbaugh, and,
Yeah.
and so it's going to be a lot different next year, you know, with that division and just different coaches, different vibes. I mean,
Stefanski's out in
because
Cleveland.
Stefanski's out too.
3 out of the 4 teams.
You know, I feel like Pittsburgh will somehow find another one of their guys, and they'll continue to look as they have looked. Like they just seem to always stay within the family.
Well,
But you know,
Tomlin wasn't in the.
well, I mean, not maybe I misspoke on that. Like it's the beat
They
goes
only
on.
have.
You know, the beat goes on with them.
they
like,
have like 3 coaches since 1969.
yeah.
It-
And
but
it's always this like,
Yeah.
you know, defenses are pretty good.
it's
I mean, just similar vibes.
but it's
to the
outside the
teams, you know?
box kind of hires too. Like that's, and I was talking to Evan a little bit this morning. I've seen Brian Flores' name sort of attached there. I think that would make some sense.
Yeah,
Like to
the
what you
same
were
thing,
talking
right?
about.
Yeah,
That
same kind of vibe, right?
defensive-minded guy. I don't know. Maybe they have to go in a different direction and get some offense.
He
in
was
there,
there last year,
but,
2
he
years
spent-
ago,
He spent
2
a
years
short,
ago.
short amount of time there with
Yeah, he
Tomlin.
was
Yeah.
in between jobs.
I mean, good thing you got Vrabel when you did. There's 9 openings right now. I mean, it would probably be a free for all
Yeah.
if you were, maybe trying to make a move this year.
No, listen, timing
I think there was 8 last year, right?
You know?
timing is everything when it comes to being able to be in that quarterback class when you needed one, to be able to get Vrabel when you needed a coach. In life, timing is everything.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen because John Harbaugh already has his pick of the litter. It sounds like, and
7 last year.
there's Falcons, Titans, and Giants right now with John Harbaugh. It seems like the teams he's setting up with, but like I would just like to see some team like make some innovative hires that are not just retreads of 2
Mike
coaches
McCarthy.
that haven't won anything in the league in a decade. If we're being honest, like it's just Tomlin's lost 7 straight playoff games. He won 1 Super Bowl with Roethlisberger 15 years ago. And the same can be said about John Harbaugh. And like at some point it's like it just gets tired. Like and I like it when other guys get opportunities that, are maybe a little bit more up and coming, a little bit more innovative, head of the curve type hires instead of we're just gonna hire John Harbaugh because he's going to be a stable coach and will win 8 games.
Well, sometimes when you're an owner, you're looking for stability.
I get that,
But
like, have some cojones and like make a bold hire.
Yeah, I mean, I could see both sides of that argument. I mean, I know what Evan's talking about, and there's been plenty of those guys that have been home runs, like Sean McVay and Evan's boy Kyle Shanahan, and
Ben
Kevin
Johnson.
O'Connell. I think with Minnesota was one of
Good
those.
one. Yeah.
Ben Johnson's another one. But
Liam
there's
Cohen.
there's also a lot of Jonathan Gannons and guys that sort of cycle out quickly.
Mhm.
I wouldn't like Brian Dable. Like I wouldn't close the door on Brian Dable. I would look at that as an option.
Me too.
Even though it didn't work, even though he's a retread. The Patriots did with Vrabel.
To me, that's different though. Like he's not a guy that spent 20 years in the same place.
Oh no! I know you're talking about 2 specific guys. Those are 2 unique. And I know it sounds funny, 2 unique,
Right.
but they are. I mean, 18 and 19 years. That doesn't happen all the time.
and the thing about the 2 of them is they're still relatively young.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like Pete Carroll or Andy Reid
I
when
think
he
Harbaugh's
finally
like 66.
is
He's
he
not
that
as young
old?
as you think.
He looks good.
He does look
He
good.
looks good.
Looks great.
But a lot of times when you get like the Tom Landrys and like Marv, it's time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not just for that team, but to quit coaching.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I
I don't.
understand.
These guys have a lot of years left in them.
I understand the stability thing, and there's definitely a world where you hire a John Harbaugh and he just gets you to 8 or 9, 10 wins because he's just a good football coach. But at the same time, like I don't think there's been a more talented team in the league than Baltimore. The last
I don't think there's any
since they
arguing
drafted Lamar, basically, and they won nothing. They didn't even make a Super
Well,
Bowl.
when you say 1-0, they've gotten close.
They got into the AFC Championship game and got blown out.
Right. But,
Like-
that's an achievement.
But
Well, didn't they blow that game against the Chiefs with like 3 fumbles inside the 5-yard line? That's a game I didn't see on account I was at my son's football banquet, which I'm still mad at.
I'm not
but-
going to sit here and remember every detail of all their
Paul
playoff
does
games.
So I trust Paul.
But
Well, I mean, getting blown out and losing by a touchdown when
they
you
have
fumble
not-
3 times
Right.
inside the 10 is two
Right.
different things.
they have not performed well in the playoffs, and it's held against Lamar all the time that he's not a good playoff quarterback. And I just, like I said, I just feel like, how much longer are you gonna keep going to the well? 7 straight playoff losses for Tomlin, and he also didn't win a ton when they had Big Ben and Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, and they had some of the most talented teams in the league during that period of time.
I would agree with you on both counts. I don't think either one of those guys has won as much as they should have, especially Tomlin. Tomlin early in his tenure had really, really good teams.
And the Patriots beat them a lot.
Well, everybody beat them a lot in play. Like they lost to Jacksonville at home.
Yeah.
Like
It's
that
interesting, though.
45-42 game.
Like both those teams, comparing it to the Patriots, both those teams have been able to draft superstars pretty consistently. I go down the list of T.J. Watt and Antonio Brown and everybody in between, but it's almost why the Patriots kind of bottomed out. I feel like they missed on those drafts. Like Pittsburgh and Baltimore continue to find some star players here and there. They're not overwhelmingly, but it's enabled them to kind of stay afloat.
Steelers' problem is they never really were able to replace Roethlisberger.
Yeah, they didn't bottom out because, and it's a testament to him that they weren't good enough. I mean, bad enough to bottom out, but that is part of it. And to Evan's point, Baltimore losing at home in some of these, they lost to Vrabel's Titans at home. They lost to the game that we're talking about, to the Chiefs at home. Same thing with Tomlin. Too many home playoff losses. I wouldn't count this one necessarily as that. They were underdogs in the game. This is an interesting stat, though. Like you talk about this nine openings now. Andy Reid is now the longest tenured guy. Everybody would say, oh, he's been around a while. Who do you think is next?
Ooh.
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay is one of them.
Yeah. I know he's
And Kyle Shanahan's
Yeah.
another.
Yeah.
And,
The other one I
Sean,
was
and
gonna
Sean
say.
McDermott. Those are the next 3 tenured coaches. All were hired in 17. After that, Matt LaFleur, Zach Taylor.
Right.
These guys just got hired.
Yeah.
These are the longest tenured coaches in the league.
That's interesting.
Well, with McDermott, do you think he might be in danger if the Bills were to lose to
Yeah.
the Broncos this weekend?
I
And
do.
does it influence you
I
at
don't.
all?
I no longer think that he's in.
I'm
trouble.
with Paul.
I mean, do you think it's an influence at all that you're so late in the process now? I know nobody's been hired yet, but is there a disadvantage to firing your coach later than everyone else, or other interviews are already going on?
Of course
I
there
don't
is.
know.
You don't get the cream of the crop.
Yeah, but, I mean,
Well,
nobody's
no one's been hired
nobody's been
yet.
hired. I don't know. I mean, I'm just
if
maybe
you're
not
John
at all.
Harbaugh,
Maybe not at all.
and on
He's waiting for
Monday
the Bills.
morning, the Bills fire Sean McDermott. You're changing your
Yeah.
entire.
Which I
Yeah.
think is why.
Might be why they're waiting.
Why John
I think that's
Harbaugh's
why John
waiting.
Harbaugh.
That's
is
what I mean.
waiting.
Yeah.
His camp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I think he's waiting till all the information is available
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
because I think he's in a unique situation where he can kind of pick and choose where he wants to go,
Sure.
and he's going to make sure that he doesn't agree to anything before it's. I don't even think he's had interviews yet.
he has them lined up with the Giants, Titans, and Falcons are the 3 teams that I think by the end of the week he's supposed to have interviews with. But I just with McDermott, they have a weird allegiance to that guy, and he won a playoff game. If they had been one and done, I think it was definitely on the table. Now, if they get blown out by Denver, then maybe. But
Yeah, I'm not saying there's no chance.
if they lose a competitive game to Denver, it's this weird thing where they keep on saying do you remember what it was like before, in between, the team in the 90s and it's
Dick
they
Geron,
they just have a weird allegiance to
Mike
McDermott.
Malarkey.
All right.
A lot
Well,
of malarkey.
Wednesday's the day we turn the page and
Doug
we
Marrone.
turn it to the Texans. What's the line now? Do
I
we
believe
know?
it's 3. The
Patriots-
last I saw was 3.
Patriots
last I saw
favored?
was 3.
Yes,
I'm assuming.
Patriots are favored by
Yep.
3. Yeah,
Patriots favored by 3. I like that. That's a fair spread, I would say.
it's interesting.
It's a fair spread.
So I agree with you.
Yeah.
Mike Felger thinks it's more sign of disrespect.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's really
They should
I was
go-
listening-
he's
what is
really-
he looking for?
I-
7
I
points?
was listening to him when I was driving home yesterday, and I just thought it was, and it gives them an opportunity to do it. It's showing you that they still don't believe in you. They still don't believe in your schedule and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't know. The last I saw, the Bills are favored by 1.5 in Denver. Like, so what do you say about that?
Right. Well, that's Josh Allen.
No. But, like, the Bills aren't as good as the Patriots.
That line's flopped. It's Broncos -1.5 now.
Yeah, but that means a lot of money came in on Denver, and it's changed the line. It was the Bills favored, and I would say even at 1.5. That's a lot more disrespect to Denver than the Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the number one seed.
Number one seed at home, and what did they do? They played the third worst schedule. It's another example of they just don't believe in these teams that had these gaudy records. Now, I'm not telling you they're right, wrong, or indifferent, but that's what those lines tell me.
Does this happen a lot, though? Do you feel like every year in the league there are a couple really good teams that just have the schedule? I mean, is it only coming to light for us now because it's becoming a talking point for the Patriots? But is this what happens every year, that the teams who have the
Not
fourth
every
place
year.
schedule or the easier
I'm
schedule
pretty sure
or it lines up?
the
that-
Eagles had one of the easier schedules last year, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. Obviously, everybody always goes back to the 99 Rams because it supports the Patriots argument that you can still be a great team against an easy schedule. I agree with you, Deuce. I think that this topic has come up more this year. Now, it's probably
would
because
agree.
the Patriots schedule, by a lot of metrics, is historically
Historic,
easy.
Well,
I
and
agree with both points.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think one of the reasons why it's such a big topic is people were trying to explain how this 4-13 team that was just terrible had this sudden turnaround.
Yeah.
You know, and
Oh, and there's a lot of reasons that are beyond the schedule.
Of
I mean, first
course.
of all, they completely turned the roster over.
yeah.
You know, forgetting about the new coach and the quarterback's second-year leap, which is the biggest thing to me is Drake May. But they also have, I don't know, 24 players that weren't here last year that are playing significant roles.
Because we know,
Especially on defense.
we know that it has more to do with the schedule, but people were like, what the hell's going on over there?
I mean, Drake May is a good place.
Listen, during the Brady years, I remember there were years where it was a pretty easy schedule, and other years where they had to go through the gauntlet.
I mean,
where we played a lot of good teams.
You just said, like, especially defense, but Will Campbell, Jared Wilson, Garrett Bradbury, Morgan Moses, Travion Henderson, Stephon Diggs, Matt Collins. Like, just right off the top of my head, 7 really important offensive players that weren't here last year.
Yeah.
They completely turned the roster over. I mean, they had a phenomenal spring. And I know Vrabel made light of it, we won the offseason, like, making a joke about it, but they did.
They did.
They hit it out of the park.
Yeah. The results are in.
I just feel like between the Patriots as a team and obviously with all this Drake May MVP stuff, the strength of schedule has come up in these debates more than any year that I can remember. It's such a big deal.
I think you nailed it. I think both of you nailed it.
That Drake May played a softer schedule than Matthew Stafford, that he might lose the MVP because of the opponents that he played against. I don't remember that happening before. I just looked it up. The Eagles last year, according to DVOA, had the 29th hardest or 4th easiest, whatever.
I remember
schedule.
that, and it's because the division was really wretchedly bad.
Yeah, so they had an easy schedule last year. They won the Super Bowl. Does anybody care? Yeah. I do think it does happen maybe more than you realize, but it's been a huge part of the narrative this year for some reason.
And I think up until this point, beyond May, I think a lot of people said their personnel's not that good, but maybe their depth isn't that good. But maybe
their depth isn't that good, but they have improved the
but
overall
maybe it's
roster.
a little better than we thought it was.
Yeah.
Or
I
the
would-
analysts said it was.
I would agree, Fred.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would definitely agree with that because I would say probably go to the preseason and I'm sitting here saying, what happens if they lose Spillane and Landry? And I mean, yeah, they did. They held the fort while they could, but with the left tackle, Vidarian Lowe having to play. I mean, we talked about that in training camp.
But
People
those
would have been
things,
like,
I
this
mean,
is critical.
The,
So the
the
depth
two on
played well.
defense showed. Like, they couldn't stop anybody running the ball when those guys were out. It was night and day. They were, like, historically good before Williams got hurt.
But they were
then
still, 4-1?
No, that's Drake May. But, like, they couldn't. I'm saying they were badly affected by those personnel losses.
Sure, but they still won the games.
Sure, but not.
And you don't even care about the run, Paul.
I'm just saying, like, they were greatly impacted. Like, we said that they would miss those guys, and they badly missed them.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not saying that,
Like,
that it
they
was no
did.
drop-off, but it wasn't catastrophe. And
Right.
Vidarian Lowe
That's
got
what-
Drake
I
May
mean, you blew a
injured.
21-0
Teams are
lead
able
without
to
those two
make up
guys.
for those losses.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you also could have scored at the end, too. I mean, it's Vidarian Lowe didn't get Drake May killed. Like, those are,
no,
I'm just saying-
Vidarian Lowe, I think, played really well.
Yeah, I'm not saying there was
think
no
you missed-
drop-off.
I don't think
but-
you missed anything there. I think on the other side of the ball, I missed Milton Williams and Robert Spillane.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
did.
not saying you didn't miss him, but
I know-
they,
like, I
they
noticed
had
that those guys weren't
fill
playing.
in and do okay. Like I thought it would have been catastrophe that you don't have your I mean, looking at what they did last year with Christian Ellis, and when he was thrust into this hot,
Well, that's what we
into
were
playing
told. Like,
defense.
they're one injury away from this thing collapsing.
yeah, yeah.
It was pretty
Yeah.
bad against Buffalo, and then it.
And I think it was pretty bad against Baltimore until John Harbaugh, your guy who's now fired, decided not to keep running that guy.
Or when Lamar got hurt in that game. Yeah, but yeah,
Like, I think I know. Like when they play good teams, I noticed those guys weren't there. Is my point.
Yeah.
And I didn't really, they won the games. Well, they won some of the games, and
they would have beaten Buffalo if those two guys
I-
played.
Oh, Milton Williams.
Yeah.
I think they would have.
Yeah.
Okay.
one's
855-PATS-500 is the hotline. Podcast@patriots.com is the email address. We'll have Mike Vrabel at about 1:10 today. It should be a very informative and interesting press conference, so we'll have that live on the show. So let's open it up. We'll see what everybody has to say. The emails are coming in. The calls are stacked up. People are excited, and why not? Sam's in Easton. What's up, Sam?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, I want to make one point, and I have a message for Patriots Nation.
Okay.
All right, I think everybody is critically underrating the Texans. I think they're the toughest opponent we've had all year. This is a team that had a brutal schedule, started 0-3. They're riding a 10-game win streak. They've taken care of business, and they won a bunch of games without their QB.
Who's
I
underrating the
think probably
Texans?
best. Everybody in the national media. Everyone's talking about the Bills. You don't want to play the Bills. The Broncos are the 1 seed. Look, the Texans have probably the two best pass rushers, like the best tandem I've seen since Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware. So I think they're going to force Drake into some turnovers. So it's going to be a rough game, but I think the difference is really going to be if we can get to Stroud and if we can have some guys step up our 2s and 3s and run the ball. So curious what you guys think about that. And I have a message for the Patriots fans as well.
Let's do the message.
All right. I'm a season ticket holder. I was there Sunday night. Everybody's talking about how loud it was. It was great, but I think we can do better. I think we can be the loudest team this weekend. And I think if you're somebody who's been looking at tickets, sitting at home, wanting to go, call up your buddies, call your dad, bring your kid, go out and buy tickets. It was $230 to get in when I checked earlier. Let's be on our feet the whole game, and let's be loud and force some turnovers, okay?
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
Buy apparel.
let's talk about your first question, and thanks for the call, Sam.
I didn't mean to like snap at him. I just I've heard nothing but how good this defense is.
Yeah, me too.
And rightfully so.
Right.
All I keep hearing about is that you can't move the ball on this defense.
So as the season ended, most people say, the team that you should be most worried about is Houston.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's been around here.
That's why
I've
I
heard a
asked the
lot of that
question.
around here. Nationally, I kind of agree. I mean, not that the people are overlooking Houston, because I don't think Houston's being disrespected, but I think the Patriots are getting a lot of love. I think people are expecting the Patriots to move on, and I'm kind of with them.
They have the highest percentage chance to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC by the odds makers.
Yeah, I maybe it is more. Obviously we're so close to it, so maybe it's that. But on our shows, every time we'd make lists of who are the teams you don't want to face, I feel like everybody's list had Houston either 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it was Buffalo, Houston.
yeah, and this defense, all I hear every day is about how great this defense
It is good.
And the caller's probably right. People don't want to hear it. This probably is the toughest team that they've played all year.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
the
I
weird
don't want to use the word again. I'll skip it.
The weird part for me is that CJ Stroud hasn't looked that great. And I really like going back to last year, the performance he had, where he's like willing the team with one leg, like, Josh Allen did. And that's why I'm struggling to get a beat on it, because I'm wondering is he going to play better, or is he going to be the same
I think
guy
that's
he
the
was
whole key to the game
last
Mike.
week? Even going into that game before watching it, and I know he's had some struggles this season and hasn't been as good as it was, but I felt coming into this season, my opinion of C.J. Stroud was really high, and then watching some of these games over the year, it's just what's going on? I mean, he's had Nico Collins, who also I remember had a kind of a breakout preseason game here. I think it was way back in like 21 maybe.
Everybody knows Gonzo's rookie year, and everybody was freaking out about Gonzo.
Yeah.
Because they're like, Nico Collins is burning him. And then it turns out
it was when he trucked him on the side.
Yeah, it turns out Nico Collins was an awesome receiver.
Yeah. So I don't know.
If C.J. Stroud plays the way he did Monday night, the Texans are not going to win this game. I don't care how well their defense plays. They're not going to do that twice in a row. They're not going to overcome. So let's three turnovers
let's play this game.
Yeah.
If the Patriots defense plays as well as it did last week, but to the caller's point, the Texans force May into some mistakes, who wins?
Patriots. If the Patriots defense plays as well as they did last week, they're going to give up 3 points.
Yeah,
Well, they can still give up more points and play as well.
Well,
if Texans are on their game.
What if Stroud plays better than Herbert?
I mean,
what
I guess
if Stroud handles that better than Herbert?
Right.
he could. I'm kind of with Deuce. Like, I just haven't seen him do it really since his rookie year.
See, I thought when he threw the ball Monday night, he looked good
From clean pockets, sure.
But the mishandling of the snaps is inexcusable. And if you do that, like even when you like, I keep saying he fumbled 5 times, and people are like, well, they only lost 2 of the fumble. Like,
Right.
when you fumble a snap and it becomes 3rd and 18, that series is basically over.
It was multiple times.
And it happened repeatedly in that game. If they do that, whether they recover the fumble or not, if they do that Sunday, they're not going to win.
Yeah.
If he puts the ball on the ground 5 times and throws a pick in the red zone, they're not going to win.
And I will bet he will not. That's not going to happen again.
I'm going to guess that he's going to play closer to the way he's played the rest of his career, which is pretty good.
Yeah. They in the regular season, they barely turned the ball over.
Yeah.
Right.
This was a one game.
They kept making Joe Buck made a big thing out of that. Like they have more turnovers
Plus
tonight.
17.
Yeah.
But even some of the turnovers you watched, like I was just watching was it the Buffalo game? One of them this year I was just kind of glancing at quick, and it was like, same thing though, like some brain fart decisions from C.J. Stroud are like, whoa, you're, and he's off his back foot, and maybe he's not seeing it quite as cleanly as he wants to. But to go back to your question, Fred, I just would get like really granular and be like, what is the impact of the turnovers? Because I kind of agree that like there's a good chance the Texans are going to force Drake May, but where do they happen? And how does their offense then go into the end zone and make it into 7, or is it a?
I think I agree with Evan.
3,
If the Patriots defense plays as well as it did last week, and May makes mistakes, I think the team will be able to overcome those mistakes because the defense is playing well. And when May does do his thing, it'll be enough.
It's basically how Houston won Monday night.
Yeah, and I think that in that scenario, if you get to...
But the defense played well enough to overcome the mistakes.
I think in that scenario, if the Patriots get to 20 points, they win the game.
Yeah. Well, it's the things like Vrabel highlighted, off the quick change with the defense and the red zone stops. Like those, to me, if Drake turns them over, is it inside your territory? Can your defense come out on that quick change and stick for a field goal? Like those things, I think, are what they're going to have to do, because it might be whose mistakes are more costly. That they both
that's usually
sides make
the
mistakes,
playoffs, man.
Yeah. When you look at just like the Texans offense in terms of like drive efficiency and stuff like that, like they get so much help field position wise from the defense. The defense puts them on so many short fields or advantageous field position, or just flat out scores on its own.
Yeah, they scored twice.
That it really inflates their points per game number. So like they're 13th in the league in points per game, but they're 21st in the league in points per drive because they don't score on offense. Like, the defense.
But the other day, like, and again, that just might be it's scary when you do this, but like Monday, their points per drive was probably horrific.
Yeah.
But they had 400 yards of offense.
Yeah.
Like they were moving the ball. The quarterback just kept dropping it.
I don't think
that's how they didn't score.
That's not what happened for them the whole season.
That's what I said. It's dangerous when you watch one game.
Right. Because if you look at their turnover rate during the regular season, it was one of the best in the league offensively. So like, I think that if you can put the Texans offense on long fields, and you make C.J. Stroud go 65, 70 yards to the end zone every time, then you're going to be in good shape. If you turn the ball over and it's going the other way, and it's either obviously a touchdown for the defense or a short field for the offense, that's when the Texans start to run it up on teams, is when the defense is feeding the offense. So even if you turn the ball over, like turn it over in their side of the field, right? Like at least make the
Are
turnover
they one of the
smart.
better teams creating turnovers?
Yeah, they're third in the league in takeaways. They're up there with Chicago and Jacksonville. Jacksonville was number 1 in the league in that. They're third in the league in takeaways. They have scored, I think, 5 defensive touchdowns. That's regular season. That's not including the 2 that they scored on Monday night. So yeah, that's really driving all of this, is that they turn the ball over a lot. They get a lot of really good field position for their offense. Their offense is middling, but when you have all those things working in your favor, it makes it easier to play offense.
Do you guys ever remember a previous Patriots playoff matchup with this kind of preview where you're going against a really good defense? Like, I'm kind of thinking of Seattle. Like, I don't remember a lot of epic defenses. I mean,
Denver
certainly some
AFC
good ones.
Championship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
one. Yeah,
like
that
obviously
one.
he's not Peyton Manning,
Yeah.
but like that, it kind of reminds me a little bit of that.
Yeah.
2 really good edge rushers.
And the caller actually mentioned that.
Yeah, like I don't know if Hunter and Anderson are just unbelievable players. They're monsters. Sheldon Rankins pretty good inside, but that's like he's kind of really their only interior guy that I fear out of the group. But those 2 guys on the edge are as good as anybody in the league.
All right, let's go to Herm in D.C. What's up, Herm?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey.
So, I mean, I understand we should give the defense or the Houston Texans some respect, but for everyone to act like it's the steel curtain or the 2000 Ravens, I think that is a little overblown. I would have to disagree with the caller before. And the reason why I'm saying that, and I thought about this morning, so when I think about a Texas defense, really, I think everybody's thinking about Will Anderson and Daniel Hunter, right? Who, yes, if they have a bunch of sacks, it will not be ideal, but I kept thinking about how in 2022, I believe, Burrow got sacked 9 times in an AFC Championship game, and it was still advance to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. How many points did they score?
Who?
Like, how did they advance? How did Cincinnati win that game?
Well, so I was actually getting ready to get to that. I was going to say.
I'll answer it. Ryan Tannehill threw 3 interceptions.
Right, exactly. That's the only thing we cannot do, and I just don't think Drake May will do that. Matter of fact, I know he won't do that. I'm pretty sure Josh McDaniels will be in this here all week and telling, listen, whatever you do, take the sack, don't turn the ball over. And I know he'll.
No, but that might be all well and good. It's just like Sunday. The Chargers sacked Drake May 5 times, and the Patriots couldn't score.
The lost by 2 scores.
They couldn't score. They didn't score in the game. They had 1 touchdown. So if that happens, you're automatically in a game. If you don't, that's Fred's point about getting to 20, I think is vital. Like, you got to make Houston score points to stay in the game. If it's another 9-3 game with 10 minutes left, that
Anything
game can
can
go either
happen.
way. I'm
Anything-
sorry. I know the Patriots defense was outstanding, and it never seemed like the Chargers were going to move the ball. But did you know that, for a fact, when you were watching? We were all sitting there saying,
Quentin Johnston, here it comes.
Mike must have said it 5 times. One Quentin Johnston big play, and all of a sudden you're losing 10-9.
Yep.
So, you can just blow off the sacks, or, I don't even think that's the biggest thing about the Texans defense. I think if their corners play as well as they can play, that worries me. Their aggressiveness. That's why I think you got to try to beat them over the top a little bit.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. And Herm, thanks for the call.
They got to make some plays offensively.
Herm says that Josh will be in his ear all week about not turning the ball over. I hope it's not to the point where you get into the game and May
No, he's
is
got to
too
have Evans'
conservative.
irrational
He's got to be
confidence.
Drake May.
Right.
The reason why we're here is because Drake May is Drake May.
Yeah, he's got.
If he's not Drake May, then you lose.
Drake May.
Yeah.
He's got to protect the ball, and I do think in a game like this, a sack is not the worst possible outcome.
No, it isn't.
Because if he gets strip sacked, this is a team that is going to return it for a touchdown.
Yeah.
This is not going to be Jared Wilson. Luckily, gets the bounce, goes right to him, and he lands on it.
But that's the kind of thing that Paul's talking about. If it's 9-3 and that happens,
you can lose.
you lose.
Yeah,
Right. And
I agree.
that Bengals game, I just looked it up, was 19-16. That, they didn't, you could sit there and say, well, they got sacked 9 times, they still won the game. Yeah, because the other team turned it over all those times. If C.J. Stroud, I said this before, if he plays the way he did Monday night, the Patriots are going to win this game.
going away.
I don't know what the score will be,
He's not going to play like that.
but if,
No, he won't.
if he puts the ball on the ground like that and is reckless with the football, the Patriots will win the game.
Yeah,
I don't know that if he's going to be overly good in the game, it won't. He's not going to.
I can't imagine he'll play that badly.
no.
But I think,
handle the
you
snap.
mentioned the corners. Like I think Anderson and Hunter. I think the world of those two guys.
I do too.
I think Jalen Petrie is maybe the best player on that defense.
I like
mean,
this defense. I do.
He is tremendous, and a big reason why they hold up in so much nickel defense is because he plays the nickel and he can stop the run at 5'11", 190 pounds. A lot like our guy Marcus Jones.
He seems like he's really fast, and he's all over the
aggressive, fast, takes on blocks, blows up. Everybody against this Texans team is like, well, with that pass rush, like screens, quick game, run game, like good luck. Like that's exactly what they think you're going to do. Mm-hmm. That's what they want you to do. These are aggressive defensive backs. They all tackle. They're all physical. And Petrie is a dude. So if you throw the ball anywhere near him on a short pass, that guy's getting lit up. Like that is not going anywhere. So like I just, I really feel like their secondary does not get nearly as enough credit for what they're doing defensively because like the first read's never open. And if you're a pass rusher, if the quarterback has to hold the ball, like that's where they're getting their pass rush from. It's not because they're bringing blitzes or disguising pressure. It's none of that. It's all 4-man rush. We're going to put 7 in coverage. We're going to take away your first read, and we're going to make the quarterback hold the ball. And that's Stingley, that's Lassiter, that's Petrie. Like that's not Anderson and Hunter.
Daniel's in California. What's up, Daniel?
How you doing, John?
Are you my brother?
Hey.
Elton
So
Johnson.
start off saying huge shout out to my wife. She actually got me a T-shirt yesterday. That's a reference to the movie Step Brothers, but it's with Drake May and Tom Brady's face on it. So huge shout out to her. That made my day. Now diving into football talk, I feel like there's a clear advantage with the coordinators, offense coordinators, just with Josh McDaniel, being here before, especially against like top, tier defenses as well. How much do you weigh on like Nick Caley's ability to guide C.J. Stroud through this game? And then as a follow-up question,
That's big.
Yeah.
How big of a factor do you think it is that the Texans have several staff members who have at least coached under Josh McDaniels in some sort of way? Most notably Ben McDaniels, his brother. So I just wanted to take it out there.
Yeah.
I put very little credence
Thanks,
into the familiarities on the staff, like maybe even almost 0%. I think it's like one of the more overrated things that we talk about just because it's interesting.
Yeah.
Unimportant.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
100%. But Nick Caley, I think, has done a decent job. Watching them on tape, they're not poorly coordinated like the Chargers were. Yeah. Like they're blocking the right people. Their route combinations make sense. The offense fits together. It's much more Sean McVay influence, I would say, than Josh McDaniels. But all the pieces, all the parts make sense. Like I'm not watching it and like this is a train wreck like I was with the Chargers. So the one thing I think you can get them on though, their offensive line's not very good, and they have had issues with pressure. Blitzes. Who we block in, how we picking this up, what are our answers to these different looks. So that's like kind of like the 3D chess thing that an experienced coordinator is really good at, that maybe a first-year play caller like Nick Caley just hasn't quite evolved, to that level yet. Whereas Josh McDaniels goes into a game with the pressure plan of, if they bring 0, like this is what we're going to do. And I don't know if Caley is quite on that level of X's and O's.
Trent Brown, huh?
Randy's in Virginia.
2 Trent Browns.
2 Trent Browns.
I think there's 2 of them in there.
Hey, Randy.
Another big one.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
All right.
Hey.
Quick question. I don't know if you guys talked about this, but just like the eye test with Ramondre all season, he seemed like just the more reliable back. All of his runs, he seems to just, fall forward for like 3 to 5 yards every time he runs. Whereas Travion, I feel like they try to get him going, but it's just like 9 or 10 of these 1 or 2 yard runs. And then once in a while, maybe he'll break one off.
Right.
And the entire, even obviously there's the play action stuff off of that, but I don't know what you guys think of, going forward. Is this offense just going to go as Ramondre goes, or How do you envision the workload being split up?
I think you have to keep working Trevion in there because, like you said, you never know when he's going to break one. But I do notice that, like there seems to be more space between the guards and tackles for Stevenson, and Henderson just always seems to be running into a brick wall.
I think that's because partially because of vision between the tackles and setting up your blocks and things like that. That's one area of Travion Henderson's game that is still developing. Is seeing cutback lanes and understanding leverages and things like that to set up blocks. And Stevenson's just more experienced and been in the league a while.
But even like at the snap and at the give, at the mesh point.
There you go.
It just seems like when I'm looking at it from our vantage point, and I'm sitting next to you, Evan, it just seems like things are more spaced out when Stevenson gets the ball. I don't know.
I would say down the stretch that has absolutely been true. Like Stevenson has had the more productive runs, say, over the last 5 or so games. There was a time that we were having the opposite conversation this year, that like Stevenson's not getting anything. Why doesn't Henderson get more carries? Henderson seems like he gets this, that, and the other thing. And that was before the big plays started. The big plays are going to obviously skew the number. Like he's averaging over 5 yards a carry because he has, 4 50-plus yard touchdown runs. But lately, it's been Stevenson exactly the way the caller said. It's been like 5 yards apart for Stevenson.
Yeah. But I think that they're using him exactly how
Perfect.
We wanted them to use him, envisioned it. I mean, Stevenson is your real bell cow, and Henderson is a home run hitter that you sprinkle in. Like I just don't think Travion Henderson is a volume back.
No,
I think that he is a true home run hitting type of back.
Totally agree.
It's like
I think he's better
20,
with fewer
30
touches.
pounds heavier than him too. I mean, it's just different size backs.
Sure. Tanaka writes in, like most Patriots fans, I thoroughly enjoyed the win last week, even more so for those who want to hate on the Patriots and Drake May. The win on Sunday prevented the discussion that he can't or has never won a playoff game. However, next up will be he has never won an away playoff game. These are silly and simplistic views. This year's body of work showed he can win on the road. The added pressure of a playoff game might test him, but in my humble opinion, he has already demonstrated road game resolve this year with a perfect record. Maybe a win this year in Denver might shut up those detractors for good. Probably not.
I hope he never has to play a road playoff
with
game.
Himself.
I just want to know what the voices are in these people's heads.
I hope he never has to play a road playoff game. Let's just get the number one seed every year. He can be at home for every single game. And like Brady didn't play a road playoff game until. Oh no, that's not true. They played they played the AFC Championship in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's right.
In 01.
01 and 04.
Yeah, but
hard to win though.
The one in Denver is like for some reason stands out as like his first like true test on the road. I don't know why.
Loss.
Yeah, probably.
Chad, let's see. Chad says, I don't know about anyone else, but I'm not worried about this game. Maybe it's because at the start of the season, I didn't expect them to be where they are, and I'm already super happy with what this team has accomplished. Or maybe it's the fact that I honestly trust and believe in what Vrabel's doing with the team. Do the Texans have a scary defense? Yes. But it looks like the Patriots do too. That being said, I like Drake and company better than a Houston team that looks like it will be without their best wide receiver.
That's fair.
Yeah, all that's fair.
And that's for all the talk of the defenses at the end of the day, the quarterback. If the quarterbacks play to their potential, I think the Patriots have the edge.
I think
I would agree.
The thing that I'm most optimistic about is as good as the Texans defense is, they do what they do. They are one of the least like creative, exotic defenses in the NFL. They play all nickel, they play all 4-man rush, they sit in the same couple of coverages. I just really like Josh McDaniels in a matchup like that. Like when he knows what you're going to be in.
Yeah. That's what I want to ask you about because a lot of teams do so much disguise and it seems there's so much on the quarterback to figure out who's coming, who's going, and there isn't that much of that this week. So is it really just about execution? I mean, is that what it kind of boils down to?
That's what they try to make it about.
This is what they're going to do. This is what we're going to do. If you put the ball where it's supposed to be, you're going to complete the pass, and if you don't,
that's what they try to make it. They trust that their talent on defense, which is awesome, is going to be better than the offenses they're going up against, and that's just what they do. Like it's in a world of defense where everything is like super exotic now, where like guys are dropping and blitzing, and there's all chaos going
Flores,
on.
Right? I mean,
like
he's the pinnacle of it, right?
Like Brian Flores types, Steve Spagnuolo, like guys that are just constantly cooking it up.
Mad scientists.
This is the total opposite. Yeah. This is a vanilla defense.
So what about offense? Richard emailing in from Louisiana. I think we have a major advantage no one is talking about. I love those. No one's talking about emails.
Only him.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Houston is running the same offense from last year. If so, the defense should be up to speed because we have a receiver that was there last year in Diggs.
No. I don't think Nick Haley was there last year.
He wasn't.
So they're not running the same offense.
No, now it's not a complete pivot away from what they were doing. I would still say that it's like West Coast flavor or like Sean McVay flavor, which is basically what they were running with Bobby Slowick also, but two different coordinators. It's not that different, but I don't think that Diggs is like all this institutional knowledge stuff where let's not overrate that.
And I would just say in general terms, like the coaches watch, and they prepare and they scout and they know what the other team's going to do. It's a matter of stopping it. It's a matter of coming up with a plan that works. Now, obviously, they knocked it out of the park with the Chargers. They did things that the Chargers themselves said they didn't understand what they were doing. They didn't even know what they were looking at. You do that again, it doesn't matter if Stephon Diggs knows what they have to scout it, and they have to figure out what they
and be able
what
to
they can do that will work and be able to execute.
That's this game so much.
That's so much more valuable to me too. I think people overestimate how much football players actually know about the overall scheme, like quarterback and maybe safety, middle linebacker. Like yes, there are some guys who know.
I'm not dismissing it.
But there are some guys who come in and they're just like,
Will McDonough
I run this way when this is the play. I run this way. They're not looking at.
Tell the quote that Will always used to say to us.
He told me, he goes, "Don't ever ask a football player about." Football, because they only know what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, right.
Now, obviously, like you said, the quarterback.
There are special players too.
Right,
right.
Ed Reed, he just knows
they understand everything,
but
and
that's
they play
what
with instinct.
That's what he said, and he's been around a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's like when you ask guys like, "What's your favorite run?" or "What's your favorite block?" Like those things. Like they know their specific job.
I just want to hit somebody.
Yeah, they're not like looking at the game plan and Steph Diggs is gonna be like, what they're gonna try to attack is this is what they're gonna.
So even if there's a lot of the similar concepts too, like the personnel is changed a lot. I mean, one of the most important guys in the Texans offense last year was Tank Dell. He hasn't played since.
Yeah.
So
I hope he gets to play again.
Yeah. No, I do too. But I'm just saying, like, how much it can change. You had Diggs, you had Dell, and you had Collins. Now you might not have any of those three guys in this game on
Iowa State.
On Sunday night. You got two rookies in Noel and Higgins, and you got Kirk, who I have always loved.
Yep.
But that's not the guy. Like that's not his career. The game he had Monday night. I'd be shocked if he has a game like that.
It was his first 100-yard game since 2023.
When he earned all that money that Jacksonville paid him,
which is crazy.
I really, really liked him coming out. Ev, you probably hated him because we tend to differ on wide receivers.
That's
a lot.
one that we're in alignment on. Fast
I
separators.
loved him coming out of Texas A&M. He has been okay. He's not a bust.
Yeah.
But he's not been what I thought he was going to be.
That's one of the things that does scare me about this offense, though, in Stroud, is that when he has time, he can push the ball down the field. And, I think Higgins has had, some of those big plays this year. Collins maybe not there to do it, but just like it scared me with Quentin Johnston, where it's a low-scoring defensive battle and one play can change it. You can't give up a big play.
If they had Nico Collins, I'd be more worried about that. Because I don't know
Collins is a legit player who can make plays even if you're.
They've been awesome, and Stroud's been awesome against man coverage. And I don't know how much of that is Nico Collins just like being too good to play him in man-to-man. But
I will say Joey Porter did a good job on him the other night.
I thought so too,
even before he got hurt.
But C.J. Stroud, 5th in the league in EPA against man. And I would not have thought that without going into it this week.
I don't want to get into the C.J. Stroud stuff. I got a lot of hate for that.
He's not as good against zone. He's 15th against zone. So play zone.
All right, so we here in New England know that the next big snowstorm could be just around the corner. Make sure you're ready so you can clear the snow and get back inside to cheer on the Patriots beating the Houston Texans. Aaron's is proud to be the official snowblower of the New England Patriots. Visit Aarons.com, ARIENS.com, to find your Aaron's. All right, we're going to take a break. I'm going to eat, and we'll be right back with more calls and emails. Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
Veterans that started to retire as well at that time. You know, the Hannahs, the Nelsons, you know, those. So you turn it over. You end up in Miami. And Matt and I love to talk about the Miami game in relation to the Patriots. It's almost like the start of the Patriots resurgence, too. Opening day in 1994 down in Miami is one of the most memorable games that no one ever talks about because, first of all, the Patriots lost, and they've obviously
That's why they don't talk about it.
And they've had a lot of success since, so you're no longer worrying about, you know, random regular season games, but a 39-35 shootout where you had about, I don't know, 817 yards from Dan Marino.
211.
Not that you were counting.
The field was in pristine condition.
It's a mud track.
Bledsoe throws for 400. Danny throws for 400 more, and you're catching touchdowns everywhere. I mean, do you remember that? I mean, like that, just how hot it was, the humidity.
Back of my hand. Yeah, it was a great game. It was Dan's comeback game.
Yes.
Because my first year in Miami, a couple of games into the season, Dan ruptured his Achilles.
Yes.
And so he was down. So I go down to Miami to play with Dan Marino when he gets hurt. I'm like, what the? So this was Dan's comeback game, and there was a lot of question about whether or not he was going to be able to come back because, you know, in training camp, he wasn't doing too well. Wasn't throwing the ball well, limping around, you know, hitching his giddy up and all of that. So we come into that game, and man, one of the things that we never did while I was here in New England, when I got to Miami, this was like, to me, it wasn't fair. When I got to Miami, we'll go down there, and we'll be in a game, and Dan will call a play in the huddle. We'll break the huddle, line up, and maybe the ball's supposed to be thrown to the opposite side. Dan will see the coverage, and he'll see or notice that someone's one-on-one. Say it's me, I'm one-on-one. He'll see, identify that. He'll give me a hand signal. Now it's just me and him, one-on-one like practice. To me, that wasn't fair. I'm like, we never did that here in New England. In New England, my 9 years here, if we called a play in the huddle, and we went to the line of scrimmage, and they were in the proper defense or a defense that wasn't favorable for us to have success on that particular play, we just chalked that one up as a loss. There were no audibles. There were no changing the plays. Like, I mean, it happens all the time now.
Right.
But there were no changing of plays at the line of scrimmage. It did not happen. And when I got to Miami and we started doing that, I'm like, what? No wonder these guys were so tough to beat all the time. You're doing this?
Right.
And so, yeah, during that game, Dan's comeback, 1994, the first game against the Patriots, I caught 5 balls, 211 yards, and 3 touchdowns. It was almost all in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
At halftime, I hadn't caught a pass. It was latter third quarter and fourth quarter I got all that done. The last catch was a 4th down catch. I think there was just under 2 minutes left in the game. We didn't have any timeouts left. I believe we were on the opposing teams on the Patriots' 45-yard line. It was 4th and 5. And we, if we didn't get the first down, the game was over. It was that kind of shootout. So we called it trips left, and I was on the right-hand side. The ball was supposed to go to one of the three on the left. Dan gets up to the line of scrimmage, and he sees that I'm one-on-one, and he gives me a go. He just reaches down by his side. He gives me that 5-finger go. 4th and 5. Boom. He throws it. I catch it. Touchdown. That was the magic of that back then, because he changed the play right at the line of scrimmage just with me, he and I, and that was just the magic. And Dan and I really developed a camaraderie, a receiver-quarterback relationship that I never had with any quarterback prior to that or even after that.
Was there a sense of satisfaction with that, Irving, that you know what you can do? You know, you talked about, the Patriots are primarily a running team. Even in the 85 team, it was Mosey, it was Craig James, Robert Weathers, all these guys that could run. It wasn't an aerial attack. You're two really good outside receivers. When that happens in Miami and you get to see a healthy Dan Marino, was there like, damn, I knew I could do this. Like I knew I had this kind of game in me. I just needed an offense, maybe coaching staff, whatever, that could see what my abilities were, because you had Pro Bowl years at that point in time.
Right.
And you weren't just a Johnny-come-lately. You've been in the league for a while.
Right, but I didn't pay attention to stats. It didn't matter to me, because I was never, even in Nebraska, I was never necessarily the number one guy.
Right.
I played with Mike Rozier. Mike Rozier was the cat who got the ball 35 times a game, 40 times a game. And Turner Gill was the quarterback. So I was just always a compliment. So I never looked for the big accolades, or I never looked or played in a situation where I was the guy. So when I got to Miami, I really never thought that to myself. Oh, well, look what I finally got to a place. I was still learning. I was just excited about being able to do it, because I never did this before. Right. I never did this at the wide receiver position, and this is, I guess, how it's supposed to be done. Mark Clayton had gotten released the same year I was going, that I went to Miami. Mark Duper was still there, and we made it through a training camp together. And then he got released after training camp, my first training camp there. But I learned so much from him, just watching him and talking to him, how to be an NFL wide receiver. Here I'm 9 years in the league, and I'm learning this new stuff that I've never. So I was so excited about learning this new stuff, and wasn't really paying attention to numbers. I really didn't pay attention to numbers. When I got selected to the Pro Bowl that year, that was great, but I really never really paid attention to numbers. It wasn't until the latter part of my career, when I started getting close to 1,000 catches, my last couple of years, Washington, when I started looking at numbers. But even when I was with Philadelphia, I got to catch this amount. I got to catch this amount of touchdowns. I got to score so many touchdowns and so many yards and so many catches. I never did do that going into a season.
So even though you don't follow the stats as much, you have to look at the game now and say, man, what the kind of numbers I could put up with this game?
Oh, well, yeah, now. Shoot, numbers and money.
And now, great moments in history.
There's no sense in traveling right now.
No, and he does. He doesn't just travel. He usually does some pretty extensive trips.
Yeah, he immerses
himself in the culture, the people.
You got to give that, case of cat food to the local shelter.
Why do you mock charity?
What?
Why do you mock? You're a bad person.
I'm not mocking.
Yes, you are. You're mocking. You've
That's
got a
what you
grin on your
do.
face. You've got that Cheshire Cat grin on your face. Oh, he's going around the world doing good things. What a bad man.
Look at the bad man doing good things.
Trying to help cats. Is this a shelter for cats?
Yeah. My cat's been a little out of sorts.
Really?
Yeah. The last week or so.
No?
Really? I don't know. No. We couldn't find him for a long time last Saturday.
You're like, stop acting like a pussy.
You can't say that, Fred.
No.
What?
No.
It's a cat.
It's out there now.
Right, now. Sit down with him. Ask him what's up.
That's another great moment from
All right, welcome back to Patriots Unfiltered. 855-PATS-500 is the hotline. Podcast at patriots.com is the email address. We'll have Mike Vrabel at about 1:10 or so. Yeah. Should be a good press conference, enlightening.
What's the theme today, Mike? Let's predict the theme.
Playing a good defense.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Don't let Drake get killed.
There's going to be a lot of questions about the Texans defense.
Yeah.
Mike will lay it on.
It's something else too. It's just I know everybody probably. I just realized I'm like, oh, Mike Vrabel had coached in Texas, the Texans too. You know,
he was the
this
DC
connection
for
there
a
too.
year.
Number of connections with this team.
Yeah.
I do think the Ben McDaniels. It's just interesting. Like, imagine your brother is coaching against you. You know, especially in an offensive coordinator kind of a role. Like, you know,
Well,
head
the
coaches.
Harbaughs
Like,
have
yeah.
done
I mean, the head
it.
coaches, I
Yeah.
get it. It's like. But I don't know. There's so much like nuance and detail to an offensive coordinator that like Josh literally knows everything they're going to try to do, and
Right.
I'm sure Ben knows everything. You know,
After the game, do they give him noogies?
right.
Franklin from Baltimore writes in, Patriots fans have been rightfully, I would say, concerned about this matchup with the Texans. I share the same thoughts that Houston poses. In my opinion, a bad matchup versus the Patriots since they can not only stress pass protection, but they also have the secondary to maintain that intensity. That's something that, for as good as the Chargers defense was, it didn't pose that same problem. If I can instill hope in Patriots Nation, however, look at it from our side for a second. Houston poses virtually no threat running the ball, has a bad line, Stroud is shaky and can be prone to turning it over, and if Collins doesn't play, Houston doesn't really have any pass catchers that scare you. Point being, if the Patriots don't turn the ball over, the Texans aren't a team capable of building up a huge lead. And with Houston being so one-dimensional, I think that does play into the Patriots' defensive strength of being pretty good on third downs in terms of score. I honestly expect a similar type of game like they had versus the Chargers, with the Patriots winning, of course. Well, Stroud turned it over last week, but he hasn't really turned it over a lot.
And
all
I would
season.
agree that Houston, I don't think, is the type of team that you would expect to run away and hide. I don't think that they would be building a big lead in this game. I mean, they ran the ball really well Monday night.
Did. Yeah.
Both guys.
Yep.
Woody Marks went over 100 yards, and Chubb was
Chubb
averaging
hanging in there.
well over 5 yards a carry in that secondary role. I mean, I don't know. They ran the ball 475 times, and they threw it. I mean, Stroud threw it 423, so 582 attempts as a team. I mean, I don't know. That doesn't sound like it's out of whack, like in terms of balance. Now, they're not a great running team. Patriots have, had more rushing touchdowns and whatnot, but I don't know. They look pretty good Monday night doing it.
Yeah.
Now, the Steelers, I don't think, are as good against the run as the Patriots are, or have been during
At
the
least
course of the
last week.
season.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know.
I agree. I just think it's going to
I
take. You're
think the
going to win all the
Texans-
little details, and that's where I think the Patriots can separate themselves. I just did the Vrabel a little
I
bit
also
there.
don't think the offensive line is that bad.
Yeah.
I think that they've.
We got to get one of these on Trent Brown though. We got to.
Oh,
get
well,
one
you'll
of those.
get. He does it every time. He got called once, but he does it every time. Monday night he did it. I don't think it's a great offensive line, but it's been better. I mean, they've been sacked about half the amount of times the Patriots have.
Jake Andrews. I mean, Patriot. He was here
Part of
this
the problem
spring,
the other
you know?
night with those
I
snaps.
know.
I mean, they weren't all on him. Some of them, one of them he snapped one wasn't even ready, and no one else was ready either.
Yeah.
But I think that offensive line has gotten a little bit better. I think Ursari's been okay at left tackle.
Yeah.
I thought Trent Brown, I'm very critical of Trent Brown. You guys know this. I thought he did a pretty good job on Watt the other night.
Big dude.
Steven writes in from Fort Drum. Thank you for your service. I'm hoping for a big game from Stephon Diggs for this game. Houston didn't believe in him and dumped him after the first sign of his injury, only to get picked up by us and have a 1,000-yard season. If it were me in his shoes, I'd be taking this game very personally and as a true revenge game. Also, is it wrong to feel more confident about this game than the Chargers game?
I get that. I would just because I'd go back to what I said about the quarterbacks and
I was worried about Herbert last
Yeah.
week. I'm worried about the defense
Yeah,
this week.
ultimately Herbert fizzled, and the Patriots had a really good defensive plan.
But
and
this is a better offense than you saw last week, too.
yeah, that's also probably true, especially if they had Collins back in the mix.
No, Herbert is better than Stroud. Well, this year he was. But this is the Texans' offense is better than.
Oh,
the
I'd rather
Chargers.
have their receiving weapons than. Yeah, sorry, Fred, not Lad McConkey, but going back to what I was saying, I think it's going to be a little bit of a rock fight, and maybe the Patriots can, I was watching Buffalo. I mean, Ray Davis took a kickoff back, for a touchdown against them. Trying to find a way to, famously in 2017 playoffs, Deion Lewis returning the kickoff for a touchdown. Those kind of points, if the Patriots can steal some of those or even steal some field position with just good returns, even if they don't go all the way, I think they'll go a long way just to help Drake May and not put it all on. You've got to earn every single yard. It's going to be a difficult task.
Yeah, and wasn't Diggs A free agent? Wasn't he a one-year deal in Houston?
No, I think they. Maybe.
I thought he was in the last year of his deal when they traded.
Maybe. Whatever it is, they decided not to.
They didn't re-sign him,
yeah.
but they didn't dump him. I don't. I mean, that might be wrong. I thought that was only 1 year, but.
Angelo says, aloha from Hawaii.
Yeah, it was just a 1 year deal.
I'm a longtime listener and first-time emailer, and I'm a huge fan of the show. I had a quick question regarding Sunday's game. Do you think the weather could play a significant role, particularly with Houston not being accustomed to very cold conditions? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. No, they're a defensive team. Defense travels. Doesn't matter what the weather.
No,
I
think it could be a factor. I don't think it's going to be based on the early forecasts. It doesn't sound like it's
mid-30s. No.
And it doesn't sound like any heavy wind or precipitation or anything like that. But yeah, I think this is a dome team, and I think that defense is much better indoors than out. All of that. I agree with Fred's premise that defense travels, but those guys are better in the dome, getting off on the carpet and all that stuff. Good conditions, but I don't think it's going to be that bad weather-wise.
If it was really slippery, then the offenses have an advantage because they know where they're going.
It doesn't sound like it's going to be that bad weather-wise.
No, but
I mean, it's not going to be.
It's New England. Yeah. You never know.
Just wait a minute.
Yeah. Let's see. Chris in New Hampshire. Goodness gracious, yesterday's callers were a race to the bottom. Todd reminding us that the game was going to be a slobber knocker. Then saying again when he wasn't given the reaction craved, was only outdone by Mark, a shrieking ninny who wants media activism to get more flags in the game. Flags for hand gestures he doesn't like. Brian from Lowell, I miss you. Please call in. He's an eloquent sage compared to the barbarians that typically call in. All right, let's go to Vrabel.
Big crowd today. Do the Texans have the best defense? Is this the best defense you've faced?
Yeah, of course. They have great talent, great scheme. They play hard. I respect how hard they play. And they're just not only talented, but they have a play demeanor that I can appreciate.
Mike, are they sort of a do what you do defense? Some people have talked about the scheme is good, but it's just, this is...
Yeah, and again, there's not a whole... they don't, I guess, necessarily... maybe the volume isn't as much. I think the volume increases on third down, where you'll, maybe get some multiple looks and pressures and different things. But, I think we pretty much would have an idea of where they're going to be on first and second down. They'll mix in pressures, and then they match up, and then we'll get into the zone. But I think the volume probably comes more in on third down.
You said you appreciate their play demeanor. Sorry, you said you appreciate their demeanor. Mike, what is their play demeanor, specifically defensively?
Well, they play, play to the football. They chase the football, and, they get a lot of hats at the football. They create turnovers. They play physical.
Do you expect Christian Gonzalez to practice today?
I do anticipate him being out there.
The fact that the Texans have so many coaches who are familiar with Josh McDaniels, does that make it extra tricky? They can provide even more help to their defense, that kind of thing.
Again, if they know what call's coming, then we should try to get those coaches. I think that there's certain styles of offense, and we've got all our tape, we've got all theirs, so. If they know what Josh is calling or they know what we're calling, then they got to jump on us.
With that said, Mike, what's the preparation like for you, start to finish, on a week like this?
Same as it was last week. We'll start on first and second down, and try to come up with keys that we feel like can help our team, and make sure that we formulate practice, getting things done that we need to get done based on the time of the season it is and the health, and move on to third down and red zone and short yardage, and that's what it looks like.
How unique of a challenge is Will Anderson and Dale Hunter for this offensive line?
Again, I don't think it's just one move. I think there's talent, length, effort. They don't, if they get blocked, they don't stay blocked long. Can power different moves on the edge. So, they play hard against the run. It's not just if you run the ball that they're taking plays off. So, two really good, bookends.
Mike, given how talented your quarterback is, what goes into the decision for him to, just take the sack, move on to the next play versus, trying to extend the play, meanwhile managing the ball security, given how aggressive their pass rushers?
Yeah, I think that's, again, having never done it and been facing the fire, it would be hard for me to say other than, try to make a great decision, use great ball security and making sure that, that's all part of everything that we've been working on, and, having two hands on the football and pocket, and, just having a feel in the timing of when you have to get the ball out on rhythm, and hopefully, if not, being able to extend, and when you extend, making sure that you're good with the football going up into the pocket.
With Will Anderson and this defense being so good at forcing offenses off the field on third downs, does that change the way that you're going about thinking about, and Josh, the play calling on first and second?
Well, we never want to sit there and be in 3rd and 12. We were 3rd and 15 last week. We picked it up. Chargers were ranked the same as the Texans, and we're going to go play the game. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to play the game. We're going to enjoy it just like we did last week. And again, you have too many of those, I think it's probably a bad thing. But if we find ourselves in those situations, then we'll have to just get ourselves out of them.
One link between you and D'Amico is your coaching the teams that you played for, or one of the teams you played for in your career. I'm just curious, what does that mean to you to coach the team you played for in the playoffs?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that question, Mike. I don't want to, I think it's an honor to coach in this league. I do. There's only so many opportunities that you get, and to be able to do it here, I think is special, meaningful. But I don't want to reflect on that too much. I want to focus on the game and the opponent, and I think we've covered a lot of that here when I got here.
Mike, aside from C.J. Stroud playing as well as he did as a rookie, what did you notice your last year in Tennessee about what D'Amico was doing to turn that program around so quickly?
I mean, they got a lot of draft picks, and they signed some good free agents.
What Nick Caley's running on offense, how similar is that to Josh's offense?
I think there's some carryover. There's some LA stuff, and there's some stuff that he probably learned when he was here. And then, what you do is you come in with a base idea, start in the run game, and then protection, and then whatever ideas that the new coaches have, you kind of formulate and kind of figure out what fits and what everybody's comfortable with. So I'm sure there's elements of every stop that some of those guys have made.
You reminded everybody all year, your players especially, to have fun and enjoy this. Why has that been so important, and is it more important now as the games get bigger?
I mean, I just feel like you put a lot into it. This isn't the easiest profession in the world, and we only get one chance a week, and so if we only try to focus on having fun during the game, it's a small window of our week. And so we want to bring good people in here that we enjoy being around and that are like-minded, and want to try to exhibit the qualities of the identity that we wish to play with, and enjoy it, and obviously work, but then go out to the game and let them have fun and compete, and know that one play is not going to make the difference, and that we have to keep going.
Is that why back in October you decided to go to the individual introductions, breaking with tradition that you were a part of for so many years, with the group coming out, and that was sort of a Belichick, I guess, and team invention back in 2002. How's that worked out?
I mean, it looked pretty good the other night. I mean, it's as good as much as our fans like our players, and they cheer and the fireworks and everything. I thought it was cool. I mean, I don't know. The first week we had a couple kinks, but other than that, it's like everything else. You get better the more you do it.
Mike, with Dre, I'm curious, in his post-game interview with the cameras, he made sure the offensive line was behind him. And then also, when he was speaking with us, he mentioned how maybe it wasn't his best game, but that's why you have teammates. Why is it so important to have a player, especially like a leader on this team, kind of acknowledge that and do the things he does?
Well, I mean, I think that's what you do as a leader. You try to give credit and accept blame and put it on you. I think that's all part of that, is being a quarterback in this league and knowing that nobody's doing this by themselves. And so we're going to have some good days and just bad days, but I think having gratitude is important.
Shirer's grown into one of the better linebackers in the league. What makes him so challenging to go against, and how have you maybe seen him develop since you coached him?
Well, I think he's a great leader. I think it starts there. He's got great leadership in the middle, a good skill set. And, we talk about a journey to this National Football League and to a career, and having been undrafted, and his story, which is really special. And, I'll always appreciate the year that Aziz spent with us, still stay in contact with him. So he's done a lot for me personally and my family. So I always appreciate that. Wish nothing but the best for him. He knows that. And just, I think being more comfortable in the defense and, coverage and, more stuff on third down. I think he just feels a little bit more comfortable the longer that he's been here in his system.
What about Darrell Taylor that made you want to kind of bring him in and work with him?
Well, we had conversations with him in free agency. I ended up going somewhere else, and then when he became available, we got together and had a conversation, and were able to bring him in.
I'm curious, with your in-game captains and how you announced those on Friday, showing the guys' high school tape and all that, how did you come up with that idea, and has any of that tape stood out to you or impressed you?
There's some surprisingly bad high school football tape highlights, and then there's some good ones. I'm just trying to keep things, I guess, light on the Friday tape, and I think that when you get an odd number of captains and other guys get votes, and you feel like guys are for special circumstances or have shown good leadership or good way to recognize somebody, and then a way to announce them, or they lead off the Friday tape, their highlights.
You guys never steal any plays from those?
It's not the best tape, it's not the best tape, but they have, we have fun with it.
I know that Zach Carter said the other week that turnovers come in bunches or takeaways come in bunches. I know you guys put an emphasis on that before the Ravens game, but have you continued to put an emphasis on takeaways?
Every single day. The practice script hasn't changed. Our focus hasn't changed. We don't emphasize them in bunches. We emphasize them the same. So I wish that the more I emphasize them, the more we would turn the ball over. It doesn't work that way.
Mike, what makes Danico Autry so good at blocking kicks?
Great knack, great feel, great length, his timing, because he has, he's a bigger player that has great length, and so when he gets into a crease, he doesn't just go up right away. He's able to kind of push for 2 or 3 steps and then able to get great length. So he's not just standing at the line of scrimmage trying to block him. He gets into the line or is able to swim, and that'll be a huge key. He's got 14 in his career, and we have to do everything that we can to make it not be 15.
Mike, we've been talking a lot about the Texans defense. Obviously, it's one of their strengths, but their offense is pretty good as well, especially Woody Marsh just had a 100-yard game. What makes that offense tough to stop?
Well, I think they're gaining confidence, it looked like, in a run game and the physicality in which they played with the other night. And when you can do that, then it marries with, your play action opens up and your spaces over the middle open up. Your boot game, it all marries together. So that, to me, looks like what they would want to do. They had a lot of success with it the other night. But they played physical. They ran the football.
Mike, does their defensive front four, along with the defensive backs, force a quarterback to identify earlier and have to release the ball even earlier than normal?
Well, hopefully not earlier, but hopefully on time. And need great spacing. Receivers need to match the speed of the pass rush when we throw it, so that we can play on time.
What
the problems that C.J. Stroud poses, and did you have some overlap with him at Ohio State?
No, I mean, I've met with CJ, but he wasn't at Ohio State when I was there.
What are some of the problems that he poses specifically?
Well, he's athletic enough to extend, but also the pocket presence that you want. You know, he can turn his back to the defense and come out of there and throw play action. Does a good job on the boot game. He keeps his eyes downfield. He's accurate. So he kind of gives you a little bit of both as far as, you know, the ability to extend plays, but always keeping his eyes down the field.
Mike, I was going to ask you about the development of players. Zach Core, as a play caller defensively, how much has he developed as the season has gone on?
Well, hopefully as the season goes on, we all have gotten better, you know, including Zach, and, you know, the comfort level and the input that everybody's trying to have each week to build a plan. You know, I'm very appreciative of not only Zach, but every coach here. They put a lot of time in. It means a lot to them. And they want to give their players the best opportunity to succeed. So Zach has improved, much like our football team.
Mike, with the amount and the diversity of blitz pressure you guys brought last weekend, how much of that is just a reflection of your trust in the guys in the back end to kind of hold up one-on-one?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to do that. I mean, the more you rush, the less you have in coverage. That's no secret. You know, we just want to try to disrupt the quarterback based on the plan and based on how the game's going. But those guys have to do a good job, you know, whether we're matched or we're playing some zone coverage behind it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay, that's Mike Vrabel. What did we learn?
Not surprisingly, had a lot of really good things to say about the Houston defense right out of the gate. Karen Garigian asked him if it was the best defense that they will see this year, and he said, yeah, of course. And he went into a lot of the different reasons why.
Yeah.
Just not overly surprising, but he indicated that Christian Gonzalez will be out at practice.
So that's
So
good.
that's a good
news.
sign. That means at least he has a chance to play Sunday.
Yep.
And I think that I agree with some of the. He was asked some questions about the Texans' offense as well, and C.J. Stroud specifically. And I do think this is an offense that's capable of playing better than it did Monday night.
Oh, and I count on it.
So I think, you know, you can look at the way the Patriots defense played against the Chargers and say, well, if they did that to the Chargers, and you watch the way the Texans played, you know, as sloppy as they were with, you know, all the ball security issues that they had, this is going to be a mismatch. The Patriots defense is going to be the one that everybody's talking about after the game. But I think Mike was talking a lot about some of the things that the Texans are capable of doing offensively, and Stroud in particular, that would lead you to believe that it might not be the same.
Right. No, you can count on Stroud not having those mistakes this game. I'm pretty confident about that. All right, 855-PATS-500 is the hotline. Podcast@patriots.com is the email address. Mike went to the locker room to get a feel for the locker room and to get into the Diggs scrum, and also to keep an eye on Evan.
Be interesting to see what Diggs has to say. He's usually pretty interesting interview.
I thought you were going to say it's interesting to see what Evan is going to be doing in the locker room.
Yeah, well, Mike will let us know. He'll have an eye on Evan, as you always ask for. And Mike never seems to be able to, to give us anything on that.
You know I'm going to ask the question. Give me something. It's like, what was the time that Eric went out to practice? And I think all eyes were on like some guy with a knee injury.
Yes.
And, you know, was he wearing a bra? Oh, I really didn't notice it.
Totally.
It's like,
I don't remember the details.
You had one job, and like.
It would be like today. What did Gonzalez look like? Oh, I didn't even notice him.
Yeah,
that's
was he out there?
That was the equivalent.
I wasn't looking for him.
I didn't notice if he had a brace on.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's get back to the phones. Eldred has been hanging on. What's up, Eldred?
Hey, fellas. Hey, Paul, Fred. How y'all doing?
Good.
What's up, Big E?
Yeah, nothing much. I would blow, but I'm in the middle of something, so I can't blow the horn. But
it's all right. Don't get in trouble.
I know y'all can. I won't do that. Yeah, I know y'all was talking about Garrett Wilson and what you call him, but like I said, I'm worried about Will Campbell too. But I have noticed, if you looked at some of the game for him, Stevenson, Montford, and Hunter Henry, they're always missing the chip. You know, they'll throw an elbow, but they don't hit nobody. You know, they just go right by him, and I'm just wondering if they free that up. And
Yeah.
this new receiver they signed to the practice squad, I think he's been, the league about 8 years or 9 years?
Trent Sherfield.
Yeah, something like that.
He's a veteran. You know, my guess is that's just insurance at this point. You know, someone gets banged up.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I'm just wondering, I know he's about, 29, almost 30, right? So I'm just wondering why they don't give our guy, Paul, a shot, like John Giles.
John Giles.
He's been there for the whole.
Yeah, they did elevate Jeremiah Webb last game, but then he was inactive in the game. I mean, I think it's going to come down to Eldred, the guys that they have that have been there. You know, it's going to be Diggs, you know, and then the other guys are going to fall in behind them. I think I go Diggs, Booty, Williams, Douglas, Chisholm. Those are the 5 guys you're going to rely on. And as long as those 5 are healthy, I'm not sure you'll see anybody else.
Yep.
Well, maybe not. Okay, that's all the question I have.
Okay, thanks, Eldred.
Hope we win this one.
All right.
Take it easy.
Okay, thanks. Let's go from North Carolina. We're going to Rialto, California, and it's Sean. What's up, Sean? Hello, Sean.
No Sean.
No Sean. Sean's a no-show.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah. Did you take anything else out of the press conference? You always ask me what my thoughts are, and
we went into it say, what's the theme going to be, and it's going to be the Texans defense.
We kind of figured that's what it would be.
Yep, and what's the status of Gonzalez? We got that. He's going to be out there. So, yeah, pretty uneventful, but good press conference. Let's go to BB in New Hampshire writing in. Might be a silly ask because every team is unique and multifaceted, as is every game. But do you think the Texans might have played or have played anyone this year that is similar to the Patriots? Is the blend of the Patriots' strengths one of one, or are we one of one? That's a saying that the kids say, one of one. Or are there any teams in the league that you see similarities with? Ultimately, it doesn't matter because we all we need. But curious to hear your perspective.
I mean, they've played a lot of good teams. I mean, I don't know stylistically which ones of those most closely resemble the Patriots. Maybe that'd be a better question for Evan. He would tell you the schemes and the game plans and whatnot. But they've played just looking at it, and I said this yesterday. They played 8 teams with 10 or more wins. That's a lot.
Did they play the Bengals?
And it's now 11. They did not play the Bengals.
Okay.
But they played the Rams, the Jags, the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Broncos, obviously the Jags twice, the Bills, and the Chargers.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of playoff teams. They're 5-4 in those 9 games, counting Pittsburgh. That's a lot. So I think they've been tested.
Perillo, Texans have edge because they're tested.
No, I think it actually works the opposite way, to be honest with you. I think that you get kind of beat up when you're playing a lot of good teams.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody was so quick to point out that the easy schedule doesn't necessarily equal failure in the playoffs. There's been a lot of teams that had easy schedules, and they get to the playoffs in a good spot
and
with a lot of wins. They play home games,
right,
and they go. And that's what the Patriots are doing right now.
Yep. Bradley in Kansas City. Drake's throws downfield have been amazing this year, and I was wondering if you guys think his basketball background is possibly responsible for the great touch he has on the ball. I've heard many players say he throws a very catchable ball, and the deep throws for him feel like a shooter's perfect three-pointer. Other quarterbacks credit baseball to their ability to change arm angles, but I feel Drake's basketball background contributes to his amazing touch on the ball. Thoughts on this?
I mean, I would. It's probably worth asking him if he feels that way. Just in my mind's eye, I would think no.
No, it's a completely different stroke.
Baseball and football, you're throwing a ball. Now, I understand there's a mechanic to throwing a football that's different than throwing a baseball, but it's still like you're throwing. In basketball, you're shooting a three-pointer by flicking your wrist,
right?
Like
right
up,
right,
not throwing the ball with your wrist down. Like that's to me an entirely different skill set.
I agree, but you never know. I think
That's why I said it might be worth asking him.
I think being a multi-sport athlete helps.
I think that helps everybody.
Exactly.
I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with people. You know, Devin McCourty is one that I really remember just how much he felt like being diverse in their sports as a youth player really helped them.
Yep. Dan and Everett, do you think it'd be worth considering putting Henderson back to receive kickoffs against a great defense like Houston? Getting extra yards on special teams could make a huge difference when it comes to scoring points.
I like that. I like that suggestion. Yeah, I think it would be worth it at this point. So I understand why they took him off of it, because he got a bigger role in offense. You were missing Stevenson for a while. You needed to keep him healthy. But at this point, you know, any one of these games is potentially your last game. So you're not really saving anybody for anything anymore. I think that's a good suggestion.
Okay.
I like that.
But injury is a concern.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't want a guy to get hurt, Fred.
Right.
But, like, you might need to score on the margins in this game.
And
he could be a guy.
Explosive. Absolutely. What about Marcus Jones on kickoffs?
They haven't done that at all. I think they feel like it's better to have an offensive player and, you know, running the ball and with more power, you know, the potential to break tackles.
I guess. Yeah.
But I would use Marcus Jones on both. Now, that might also have been a wear and tear thing. They didn't want too much on his plate.
Brad's in Ohio on the hotline. What's up, Brad?
Hello, guys. How you doing today?
Okay.
Great.
Great. I just got a couple observations and questions, and I know you've been asked this multiple times already about the Ben Brown, the upgrade at running and even at pass protection. I think to a degree he's been helped a little bit better than Wilson at that, simply because he's younger, Wilson. And the guy that called about the basketball, I will say that fingertips play a vital role in being able to shoot a basketball effectively. So that being said, fingertips on a football I would assume have that same, kind of feeling like you get when you know you shoot a 3-pointer, you know you shoot a 3-pointer. And it's kind of, so in that regard, I would say maybe there's a little correlation there.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Okay. I'll try to think of it Friday. Usually I go in the locker rooms on Fridays. I'll try to remember that, and I'll ask him. I'll ask and see what he says.
Okay. It is a good question he asked, that gentleman. So, it made me think about it, because I was thinking about asking you other stuff, and then he said that, and I used to coach basketball and play it. So I think the fingertips thing would have some kind of maybe upgrade help. But and then my last thing I have is what can we do? And we've had a great season, and I hope we keep moving on. I agree with you all. I don't see anyone that's really capable of pretty much. We're pretty even with anyone. So what can we do to keep McDaniels and Marrone at New England at all costs? Do you guys have any idea what we can do to keep them there?
Yeah, pay them.
Please.
Pay them. I mean, Marrone is been around. I don't know, like, how many teams are after him, but and thanks for the call, Brad. With McDaniels, he might get another shot at a head coach, and the only way you could keep him, if that's the case, is if you pay him a lot, because he's going to make a ton of money as a head coach. But
now, you probably don't have to worry about it as much because he's still getting Raiders money. But I'm with Fred 100%. Make it worth his while.
Yeah. Yep. Because they all say, here's where I want to be, but they all have that competitive thing.
Yeah, and I do think to a large extent, Josh does want to be here. But I think you're right in the end. If he gets another opportunity and he really wants another opportunity, then he's going to have a hard time turning it down.
Yep. Danny's in Daytona. Hey, Danny.
Hey, can you guys hear me, Fred, Paul?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I was hoping to have Evan and Mike too, but Paul, this was take to your take. Your guys have been talking about, Zolak and Bertan and what's his name, Crazy Murray on 98, and even Felger too. They're talking about, what do you think about this pitch? Having Will Campbell come in, sliding him in. This isn't for this season, next season. They're talking about sliding Will Campbell into left guard to make him, be that true all-pro guard that he was, mock drafts had him coming in.
Yeah.
Now, it's not an indictment on Vrabel if they do that, saying that, he was a bust. If they move him to left guard, you keep Garrett Bradbury at center. You keep the rookie behind Garrett Bradbury to learn how to play center in the NFL, since he only did it short period of time at Georgia. And then you keep a Windu at right guard, and then Moses still at right tackle. And since this draft is loaded with tackle prospects, you go out and you try to get a first tackle in the first round. Even though we're picking at the bottom, you still try to find a left tackle and then get your right tackle. What do you think about that?
Listen, if they do that, then it tells me that they know stuff about Will Campbell that tells them he's not going to be the great tackle we hope he's going to be.
Yeah, I don't love that idea.
I don't think that's going to happen, though.
Now, I'm not dismissing it, Danny. I think there's a chance that happens, but I would not want to do that by taking a tackle in the first round this year. Like, I don't want to take tackles back-to-back years in the first round. I agree with Fred. I don't think that would be. I think that would be disappointing if you had to do that. I'm not dismissing it. I don't think it'll happen in year one. I think if Will Campbell makes a transition to guard, I don't think it'll be next year.
Right.
I think they'll give him more time. But I understand what you're talking about, Danny. I don't think it. I look at it as both of those guys switching. Wilson going to center, Campbell going to guard, but maybe that's not for another year after this. In case, I think they want to see more before they make those kinds of rash decisions.
Exactly. It's not an indictment on the players. They're good players.
Well, yeah, it is a little bit.
I mean, you drafted him as a tackle,
You
and now
drafted
he
him
ends
with the
up as a
fourth
guard.
overall pick to play tackle.
Yeah, and I think he's worked out perfect so far this season. But I think for his career going forward, if he really wants to be like sitting in Canton, Ohio, possibly, or some kind of Pro Bowl, I think he should be playing guard, to be honest.
Well,
but I'm saying if you're right, it is a little bit of an indictment. It is. Like, you drafted him to play tackle, and if you think he's better at guard, then that's not great. But I'm not there yet. I didn't see. I think
maybe you're right.
I think that Campbell has been okay as the left tackle. I don't think he's been quite as effective as I think he's been made out to be. But I also don't think it's been a problem. I don't think it's been a train wreck or anything like that where you said, like, oh, my God, they got to move this guy because he can't play the position. I think most weeks he's fine. There are some matchups that he's struggled with.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Danny.
And he's also going to get better. I think he'll get stronger and get a little bit better too. I wouldn't do this in 1 year.
If they did do what Danny's talking about next year, would you equate it at all to what they did with McCourty? Because they drafted him as a corner.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's not. I agree with Danny's premise. Like, it's not a disaster.
Yeah.
Like, Devin McCourty went from being a cornerback to a Pro Bowl safety, and everybody said now.
But he was a top 4 pick.
Right. Yeah. That to me is part of the difference.
Yep.
I don't think it's quite the same, but I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's something to think about. Like, would you have done it if you knew that he was going to have to change positions?
Would you rather have an okay tackle or a Pro Bowl guard out of him?
And that's what I think Danny would say,
right.
a Pro Bowl guard. I think as long as he's serviceable at tackle, I think that's more important.
Okay. All right.
Like, I look at, like, the Kansas City Chiefs, right? When their rookie left tackle was out, Josh Simmons, he was out for personal reasons in the middle of the season, and then late in the year he ended up on IR. Their right tackle was a problem all year. Their inside guys are excellent. I think all three of them are either Pro Bowlers or All Pros. Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and the other one's escaping me, but at least those two. Like, you can have good guards and your line struggles.
Right.
Like, because if you're really bad outside, so you could make an argument. You move him inside, at least you lock down those spots. But I would rather have a serviceable tackle,
Right.
than a great guard.
Yep. Let's go to Tasmin in California. What's up, Tasmin?
What's up, Fred?
Hey.
Paul, Deuce, Evan. First of all, I just want to say that if McDaniels leaves, that's a detriment to us and him, because I feel like he found his most success here, as we all know. But second of all, I just want to hype up Pat's Nation by saying we're in playoffs. Texans is the next team up. We line them up, we knock them down.
That's right.
And that's what we do.
That's right. All right. Thanks, Tasmin. Appreciate that. That's my philosophy. Just bring them on. We'll take on all comers, and if they're good and we beat them, good. If they're good and we lose, well, all right. But I'm not scared of no one. Neither is Tasmin.
No, I mean, I think that there's no teams. I think a couple of calls ago saying they think that the Patriots are on par with everybody. I would agree with that. I think in the AFC, it's really flat. And I said before the playoffs started, I could make an argument for 6 different teams. Pittsburgh was the one that I didn't think belonged.
Yep.
Yep. And, maybe I overrated the Chargers a little bit, but I still think that I think defensively they came to play, and they had every opportunity to win that game Sunday night. I think the Patriots will have every opportunity to win Sunday against Houston, and whoever they play, whether it's in Denver or home against Buffalo, I think they'll have the same situation. I don't think there's anybody out there that you look at and say, they're so much better than the Patriots. I don't see the Patriots have to do X, Y, and Z perfectly to win. I don't think there's anybody like that in the AFC. The NFC, we'll see. We'll see when they get there, if they get there at the Super Bowl. But not in the AFC. It doesn't exist.
Let's go to Easton. George. What's up, George?
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Hey.
Hey, just my thought going into this game, right? Like, the Pats offense is as good as the Texans defense based on NFL rank, like 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. Pat's defense is, I think, a lot better than the Texans offense. So I feel like Texans offense would almost do better with Davis Mills, to be honest. But what do you guys think the most important matchup there is? Like, Pat's O versus Texans D, or Pat's D versus Texans O? I think, if Pat's offense can put up 14 points, we'll probably win if the Texans defense or special teams don't score. Just want to hear your take on that one first.
You think if the Patriots score 14 points, they win?
You know what? I don't think Houston's offense is going to score.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's
good.
I say
you're grossly overrating Davis Mills and grossly underrating CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I think 20 is the number, George. I think you need to get to at least 20. All right. Thanks, George.
It's just, I mean, the games that Davis Mills played, I mean, they had one like absolute epic fourth quarter collapse by Jacksonville.
Yeah, listen.
That he threw, I think they scored 26 points in the fourth quarter to beat Jacksonville.
I'm just going to say, I just want to warn Patriots fans that Houston did not win 10 games in a row down the stretch, but with just their defense.
Yeah, but I just want to point out like this like Davis Mills went 3-0. He won the first 3 games of the 10-game winning streak. They scored 36 points against Jacksonville. Almost all of that was in the fourth quarter. It was an epic collapse by the Jags. By the way, that was the last game the Jags lost before they got knocked out of the playoffs. The other games that they won, they beat the Titans 16-13 with Davis Mills playing quarterback.
Yep.
They beat the Bills 23-19, which, again, was all defense. They sacked Josh Allen 8 times in that game. Like, this offense was not good when Davis Mills was playing. Now, again, if C.J. Stroud fumbles 5 times Sunday night, the Texans ain't winning.
Yeah.
They ain't going to win if he doesn't play well.
Right.
I don't think Davis Mills is capable of playing well. I've seen C.J. Stroud play well.
Right. Now, people are watching that last game, and they're getting this, recency bias against C.J.
Like,
Stroud.
do you know Davis Mills' passer rating? I know passer rating isn't the be-all, end-all. He was 81.6. I know we went 3-0.
Yeah.
But he didn't play well when he did it. C.J. Stroud, who's had a bad year, had a 93 passer rating.
Yep.
And his passer rating in 5 career playoff games is 98. So he's not the stiff that you guys think he is. And I don't say you personally, but that people think he is. He was a stiff Monday night with his ball security. When he threw the ball for 250 yards.
Yeah. Just be careful.
It was very, you know what's funny? It was very similar to Drake May's game.
Yeah.
When Drake May was actually operating the offense without turning it over, he looked fine. And so did Stroud the other night. The problem was you can't turn the ball over like that.
The Patriots defense is going to have a good game. They're going to have to play well.
I mean, I think if you go into any game, I don't care who you're playing, with the idea that if we can score 14 points, we win, I think that's a disaster waiting to happen. You might hold them down to 14 points and win, but I don't think that's any plan to go into a game with.
Anthony says, how worried should we be with Drake May running? Consider Texans linebacker Alshire is notorious for being a dirty player.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would definitely head on a swivel for Drake because he's a physical player.
Dirty?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like Rodney?
Yeah.
I'm only kidding.
Yeah. I told Rodney this. We
told him he's a dirty player?
We've made our peace with this.
Yeah.
I think I might have phrased it like, I always thought you were a dirty player when you were in San Diego.
Anthony,
I was a fraud.
Anthony writes in, I've heard lots of the Drake didn't play his best talk. The team, especially Drake, has been really good at fixing mistakes really quick this season.
Yeah, I agree.
How confident are you that the mistakes from last week can be cleaned up before our matchup on Sunday?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think Drake has shown all year long the ability to put bad plays, bad series, bad quarters, bad halves behind him quickly. And I think he did it to an extent on Sunday. I don't think he was very good at all in the first half. I don't think he was as good as the numbers indicate in the second half, but he was much better in the second half than he was the first half.
Yeah.
It's ball security. And I'd be surprised if ball security is a huge issue this week for him.
Yeah.
He had a pick and 2 fumbles in that game. I'd be surprised if he had 3 turnover-worthy plays again like that.
Battery. I got to do something here. Let's see. Travis writes in, West Virginia. I'm a couple days late. I'd like to wish Nate in Connecticut a happy birthday. I hope he was able to celebrate with his favorite meal, which I assume is saltine crackers and a big glass of water.
I thought I was going with a glass of milk.
Yeah. Let's see. Christian writes in, yesterday you talked about Fred's pet peeve being quarterback sneaks on 2nd and short. My pet peeve is defensive backs catching interceptions on 4th down on downfield throws.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Happened again this weekend. Yep, it did in the Packers-Bears game and cost them about 30 yards of field position while Carrington Valentine ran around celebrating. How can you have so little situational awareness?
And it does happen all the time. It's a good observation.
Yep.
And I think it's hard because I think players look at it and say, I have a chance to make sure this ball doesn't get caught by catching it. And that's the natural thing to try to do. Whereas if I just try to bat it down, I don't normally do that.
Right. It's instinctual to catch it.
And that's sort of not a natural thing to do. And all of a sudden you try to bat it down and you mistime it and it goes off your hand, off your shoulder.
Yeah.
And, who knows? You're right.
Yeah. The other one is like at the line of scrimmage, the ball pops up and like the quarterback smartly bats it down. Your instinct is to catch it. So it is situational awareness.
And
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think the quarterback is in that situation a lot more often.
Yeah.
And they do bat him down a lot.
Let's see. Zach in Ohio, starting to be talked about how Drake May prefers to step up into the pocket whenever the edges start to collapse, or if Will Campbell is pushed back into him. With the Texans allowing one of the higher yards per carry for scrambling quarterbacks, would they be smart to put a spy on Drake?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Evan talked about that yesterday a little bit. The Texans have been struggled with scrambles. And obviously that's a huge strength of Drake May's game.
Yep. Schematically, what would we do to counter a QB spy with our offense? I think Drake's legs are the difference maker in this game. Would love to see more designed QB runs or boots.
Well, so those are two different things. Like the scrambles are not
right.
If you designed quarterback runs, I mean, they did a good job on Josh Allen.
Yep.
In that Thursday night game. Now, I personally think that had more to do with the fact that it was a Thursday night game, and that's tough for all involved. But I think they need to throw the ball effectively off platform. I think that's how the Patriots are going to make plays in this game.
Tim says in Phoenix, why was Torrance? He's the Bills. Why was Torrance called for a 10-yard penalty for picking up Josh Allen? The rules allow pushing, but explicitly call out picking up the ball carrier. There is no confusion or debate if he picked him up. He just won angry runs on Good Morning Football for, and I quote, picking up the franchise. Just curious, asking for a friend. I don't think it would have changed the outcome or anything like that. The tush push is one thing, but where is the line?
Well, that's why I think that's going to go away.
Yeah, technically.
It's not the tush push. I think it's more of these piles that get pushed on runs, which I don't think, that's not football. Like, 2 offensive linemen getting behind the running back and pushing the defensive backs that are trying to stop him.
Who's back from the locker room? What was the mood? Were the players friendly? Too bad none of them look like Derrick Henry. Hey, Mike, what was it like?
No, Paul was making a great point that I...
Hey, Mike, what was it like in the locker room?
No, it was the real quick, like, why I think the tush push isn't really the problem. It's the other pushes that are the problem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you talked about that during the game a little bit, I think.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Well,
it's not football.
Mike is back from the locker room.
Yeah, it was very busy, as you would expect on a
it's
playoff
divisional
week.
round. Yeah,
I walked down the hallway behind Kairos Tonga, so it appears he's going out to practice. Also saw Christian Gonzalez getting ready. We didn't see him putting on a red jersey or anything. He was off limits from interviews, but looked like he was getting his stuff together. So
good,
real good sign. Heard from Steph Diggs, who also had a pile of Girl Scout cookies in front of his locker.
Is he selling them, or is
no?
he just giving them out?
He's trying to support the Girl Scouts,
Okay.
and he said the Smos are his favorite. Of course, those ones. They've renamed them recently, though. They're different names now. I used to be like Tagalongs, and now they're peanut butter patties. Anyway, but a lot of compliments, of course, for the Houston defense, and Diggs talking about being ready, getting open quick, that they're not going to have a lot of time. But the quote of the day, as we did talk to Will Campbell, and then we talked to Austin Hooper, and they were asking Austin Hooper a little bit about just Will and his performance in his first game and stuff. And he's like, look, I'm not really watching Will play every play, but I'll just tell you this. Whenever I'm in the huddle with him, it looks like he's ready to choose violence every single time. So it was a good quote. Will Campbell had a lot of cool stuff to say too. He was just talking about going against Will Anderson. He's like, I went against Will Anderson when I was 18 years old. And he was listing off some of the guys that he played against. But of course, a lot of respect for the edge rushers. And Will was honest. He's like, look, I didn't pitch a shutout the other night, and that's how it's going to go. But these are the best.
PFF would beg to differ.
He's like, these are the best teams with the best players. And, it's not always going to be perfect, but we got to go back out there and be ready to play. So, again, just feel quiet, confidence. Nobody seems too tight. And, Diggs leading the charge there, but it's huge first press conference.
You said it was a crowded locker room.
Yeah.
Was music playing?
No music.
No music?
No music.
A lot of people you don't recognize?
There was. I noticed one person I recognized. I noticed there, Mike. It was the Western Mass News. Western Mass News made the trip out for the playoffs.
The name of the outlet was Western Mass News?
Well, I didn't know who this one reporter was, and I looked at his Mike flag, and he was from Western Mass News. So I was like, okay.
I've never heard of that
Western Mass News either.
I bet you Alex knows who he is.
I bet she does.
Yeah.
So no, it was good, but just it's as busy as I've ever seen it. With as many media. I mean, people were still showing up now as I was walking out, and it's like kind of winded down right now. So
Ion Alex.
Ion Alex.
Evan. Evan. I'm sorry.
Ion
Evan.
I saw both of them. Where was Evan? Evan was talking to Marcus Jones when I left.
Okay.
Having a little one-on-one, little
not
quiet
happy with
time.
that.
No, a little quiet time.
Yeah.
And otherwise, I did catch him. I think he was in Diggs, and then I saw him, with Taylor and Alex Barth, and just comparing some
the ball Noah
some
crew.
film grind notes, maybe.
Yeah, the BKs.
The BKs.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
good
What
stuff.
food
We're
are
off
they
and
giving
running.
out today to the hungry media?
Is it Chick-fil-A today?
Is it Chick-fil-A?
I don't know. Might be.
Hold, please.
I hadn't checked that.
We'll have Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
No lobster rolls?
No. We had those on the weekend, right? We had
Chick-fil-A
those at the game.
today.
Chick-fil-A. Okay.
There you go. So,
Mike, we'll have to
we're off
take
and
a
running.
walk over.
All right. Well, why don't you guys get going? We'll call it a day here on Patriots Unfiltered, but we're back tomorrow to wrap things up. How did everyone do in the playoffs?
Somebody did exceptionally well.
Okay. We'll find out who.
Freddie Fields.
Wow.
It.
Well, it's
thought you meant
playoffs.
me for a second.
Yeah. No, you don't have to worry about that.
No, come on.
All right.
No, everybody did well. Freddie, you led the way.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk all about it tomorrow. We'll find out who was out there today in terms of practice.
Looking positive, though.
Yeah, it's looking good. I like our chances. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, this is Alex. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.